Traci Lords. You might have seen the video I did about the September 1984 Penthouse magazine with Vanessa Williams on the cover and inside that also had myself and Traci Lords in it. Well, a lot of people have asked me about Traci and what I thought about her and the whole thing that happened. First of all, let me say that you might not be aware, but we don't really get as many opportunities to hang out with other actresses in the business as we would like, particularly the big name actresses. They don't often put several big name actresses in a movie together. Occasionally they will put a couple of us together, like I did Crazed Part 1 and Part 2, hi Kitty, with Christy Canyon, for Vivid Video. But most of the time, they want to keep the big names, hi baby, in a movie by themselves. It's just more cost effective that way for the companies. So I never got an opportunity to make a movie with Traci. And even though we were in that magazine together, we didn't see each other or work with each other or even pass each other when we were shooting those pictorials. They were shot by different photographers, they were shot in different locations and on different times. So the first time I ever got to meet Traci Lords was at one of the conventions. It was either a Consumer Electronics Show or the Video Software Dealers Association convention, one of those. But a lot of us ladies would sit there and sign autographs. We were hired to sign autographs for different companies that we were promoting films for. So that's where I first got to meet her. And of course at these conventions, all of these different companies are putting on different parties and get-togethers and stuff. So I had seen her, at some of the parties after the convention hours and such. But it was at one of these parties that she mentioned that she would like to talk to me, that she had some questions. So I felt very flattered. I thought, what can I offer her? She's doing pretty good in the business. I don't understand, but okay, sure, I'd be happy to come up and talk to you. So my husband and myself were both invited to come talk to her and her boyfriend at the time. So we went up to her suite and we started to talk, and she said, how do you do it? And I said, what do you mean? She goes, well, when I make movies, I get to the point where I take a shower for like an hour, and I just keep washing myself over and over again. And I said, why? And she goes, I'm trying to wash off the memory of their touch. And I said, oh, sweetheart, if that's how you feel, you need to get out of this business now. Don't ever make another movie. And she said, well, I have to. I'm under contract. I have to make 3 more. I said, now wait just a minute. You're under contract. But think about this logically. Do you think they're going to take you to court and say she's in breach of her contract because she won't make a porn movie? No. Nobody's going to do that. They can't force you to do that. You have every right to say, no, this is damaging to my mental health. I'm not in the right frame of mind to do this. So you have every right to stop right now. And if it's affecting you like you say, then I wouldn't put myself through that anymore. I said, I only make, a couple movies a year, so it's not like I'm doing this 2 or 3 times a month. I don't get to that point. I only do, for a while I was only doing scenes with my husband, and then I started working with other people, but the things that I was doing, particularly for today's world, are very, very tame. Nothing unusual, nothing even that nowadays would be considered normal. Some of those things I wouldn't even do. I'm not going to spell it out because I don't want to trip the algorithm, but yeah, I was very tame in my scenes because that's all I was comfortable with. And I told her, if you don't feel comfortable, I think you should quit right now. Well, she thanked me, and we were very polite. You know, we quit the conversation on amicable terms, but I don't know what she ever decided to do at that point. Obviously, she got out of the business, you know, ultimately. And then, of course, there's the whole thing that happened, the whole controversy about, did she do this on purpose? And I have to say, I think it was a very smart, calculated move. I don't know if you know the whole story or not, but here's what happened in a gist. She was babysitting for this family, and the family needed her to have identification so that she could be with the kids and take them places without being harassed. So they helped her with the paperwork that she needed. They helped her get it together so that she could go down to the DMV, and I believe they even drove her down to the DMV and got her this fake driver's license. Now, the California Department of Motor Vehicles did not know it was fake. They thought it was real. That's why they gave her a real driver's license, even though she was 15, because all of these adults were conspiring to get her adult ID together for the purpose of babysitting, not for the purpose of making movies. So I don't know what happened with her babysitting job. Apparently that fell through in one way or another, and she got into the movie business, and she used that identification when she made movies. Now, when it all came out that she had done all of this work underage, of course, all hell broke loose. And the powers that be wanted to point the finger at the producers and the cinematographers and the directors and the photographers and the agents and everybody in the business. But here's the thing. It was a real ID issued by the Department of Motor Vehicles. It wasn't a made-up ID that had been jerry-rigged. It wasn't something somebody printed out or made with nefarious purposes. This was given to her by the government. So how can anybody tell that this ID is not real if it's government issued? And that's why all of the people that worked with her are really, you know, kind of free, you know, unless they're selling the work now, knowing what they know now. You can't do that, of course. But you can't really, and they tried to point the finger at people who hired her when they had no idea, because the government told them that she was of age. So I don't know, you know, obviously, I'm dead set against anything that does not include consenting adults who are clearly adults. But this was such a gray area because she had the ID from the government, and she was the one who was pursuing this profession. So what can you say? I think she's a very clever woman, though, because when it all came out, it made all of her work obsolete. Now nobody could ever see it again. So while everybody might know that she did it, they can't view it without getting into legal problems. They certainly can't sell it or reproduce it. But it's a very interesting story. And I think if it weren't for the fact that the government was complicit, there would have been a lot more heads rolling. You know, there would have been a lot more repercussions. But being as it was, how the case was, there really wasn't much that they could do other than say, okay, that's it. No more of the things with her picture on it, because we know they were taken before her age. And she quit right before her 18th birthday. So, or right around her 18th birthday. There are very few things out there that are sanctioned, you know, so to speak. So I think she did a very clever little trick there. I don't think it can ever be duplicated again. And I know she's done a lot of Screen Actors Guild work, legitimate movies. A lot of people in the business, myself included, have done regular general release movies, but she's probably gotten a lot more work than others because of her name, because of everybody knowing who she is, which they would not have known if she hadn't done all of that. So one hand feeds the other, so to speak. She kind of capitalized off of it. And that's another reason why I say she was a clever woman. Anyway, that's my Traci Lords story. Thank you for watching.